Hey guys, it's Finding Prince Charming Season 1, Episode 6, with special guest star Dillon Powell. Did Dillon steal the show or just the date? Find out right now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Yes, all the girls are trying to survive this show. Welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV's recap of Finding Prince Charming.
Wow, we got a party.
We do have a party. I am your host, Tony Moore, a.k.a. Beyonce.
Girl, bye.
Bye, Felicia.
And of course, I am joined by a whole gaggle of gals. We have, to my far left.
Hey guys, it's Chris Valentine.
Hey guys, it's Ellis. Hey everybody, it's Jesse D'Angelo.
And our special guest in the house who barely survived tonight's episode is my good friend Latavia.
I'm a survivor. Yeah.
Hi, Dillon.
Hi, Dillon.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to the show.
What's going on?
Nothing much. Let me tell you, I was worried about you in this episode, Dillon, because I thought Robert was going to call down and ask for your tie back. And luckily, Chad came up and said, you know, his whole dramatic thing. We'll get to that in a second, but we played this song especially for you.
I know, because I'm a survivor.
That's right.
You are a survivor.
It's crazy because America wants me gone. I've been, you know, it's something that apparently they're not seeing, the reason why Robert's keeping me there. So,
well,
you know.
I will tell you this. Our fans are all about you, and they are all Team Dillon. Now, I mean, you know, I don't understand, but, you know, they like you.
You like me too, because you keep talking about it. I shall.
You tried it. This is going to be the show
It's
all day.
yeah.
It is the battle of the Beyoncés, and I always win. All right, so let's get to this episode. First of all, they go right into after the elimination when our fabulous Robbie was eliminated. And you can tell that, like, the fabulousness of the house is gone.
Yes, it is
Definitely
a little diminished.
Yes, they all seemed a little sad and like a little, you know, disappointed that Robbie was gone. And I like what Justin said when he was like, you know, in honor of Robbie, we have to, you know, keep things fun.
Right.
Which is
Exactly.
good. Yeah.
But you know, Robbie has been on television a long time. He came out with a lot of news that I'm sure you're going to cover later. But, you know, he is on the Hallmark Channel. He is on the Home and Garden Show. Mm-hmm. He's been doing this for a long time. He's been on a lot of reality shows. So to me, when I first saw him, I'm like, wow, what a natural. But he's had a lot of experience, so he did a phenomenal job while he was on the show.
Yeah,
Well, of course, he was just himself.
Sure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How are you and Robbie? How was Robbie in the house?
In the house, Robbie was fun in the house. Robbie was the person that actually, you know, spilled the tea, you know, let Robert know, like, this is what was going on, and Robert would come to us and say, you know, Dillon, what's wrong with this? Or Eric, what's wrong with this?
We found a canary.
You know, and it's like, he kept, you know, everything under wraps, and Robbie was actually like the protector, because everything that would go on in the house, he would underline it and say, you know, I don't want no drama in the house, so I'm going to let Robert know, that way, you know, you don't look like the bad person that's going into this or going into that.
So Robbie was like Mama Bear.
Yeah, Robbie was basically the mama bear in the house. Like, he kept Eric. I guess Eric and I are the only one that really had people coming after us. So he basically kind of kept us, you know, safe. Mm-hmm. You know.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
He was like, we don't need no hateration or no holleration in this housery.
Yes.
So there's that, and then of course, you know, Lance and Robert arrive. Which is, you know, normally when Lance walks in, we're like, oh, okay, something's about to go down. But then he got Robert with him, and you like, hold up.
Yeah.
What's about to happen? And so this challenge was a fun one, I thought, which was called What About Robert? And they were going to ask questions about Robert's favorite things or things that they should know about Robert, and they had to give the correct answer. What did you guys feel about this game? How did you guys feel about it?
I liked it. I thought it was cute and fun.
Yeah.
I wanted to play.
Did you? Well, I mean, you could have played along. Did you get any of them right?
No.
I knew
okay.
his dad's name was Robert because Junior. Like,
Yes, that's
I
the only
put
one I
the
knew.
puzzle piece together. But as far as like the rest of the game, I don't know. I feel like if you were talking to him and you had dates, this would probably be a good way to know if people were paying attention or if they were even I don't know. I guess like enjoying the activity or like hanging out with him. Like they would know more about him.
Yeah. Dillon, bless your heart.
Yes,
Now, how many did you get right during this game?
So it was crazy because like me, Justin, and Brandon were like neck and neck, left and right, hitting it, and then I would miss a couple, you know, and then Justin.
A couple or a few?
A couple. Well, the thing is like I didn't have one one-on-one date with Robert.
Yeah.
Justin has had you know, multiple one-on-one dates with Robert, so all the news that you got to see and all the answers to the question he had told, you know, either Justin or Eric because they had the most one-on-one dates, and Brandon, me, Brandon, and Chad, we didn't really have one-on-one dates with him, so that's one reason why we, you know, looked like we weren't doing well on the dates. And it was kind of weird that, you know, Eric didn't know anything when he, you know, went on 2 one-on-one dates back to back. So everybody was like, girl.
So you should be top dog in this.
Yeah.
Poor Eric. But yeah, that's weird that you haven't had a solo date. You've had moments. You've had stolen moments with Robert.
I've had moments, and you know, it's a competition show, you know, to see who, you know, who's gonna, you know, end up with him.
Yeah.
And so I'm not gonna sit back and allow someone else to get more time with him. You know, if that would have happened, I would have been going home the first episode. You know, I wanted my time, and when I felt like people really weren't, you know, pulling him away, which is something that he asked us to do.
Yeah.
You know, I did it. And, you know, and I took the initiative to do that. Did it look like I was aggressive? Yes. Was I aggressive in the house? Yes, because this is a competition show, and I want him to see that I'm here for, you know, him and here for, you know, what's going on right now.
Yeah. Well,
you just get jealous that they didn't pull him away first. That's what
I mean, I would get jealous when, you know, like, say, for instance, if Eric would go and pull him away and it's like, oh, my God, where's he gone? You know, he's been gone for a long time or something like that. But, you know, it's just feelings that you would have being in the house with people, like Robert would say, for 79 days. And, you know, and
87.
Every 87 days. Well, every day we, like, try to put it up. We were at 376 days by the time we left that house.
Y'all weren't in the house that long.
Well, we felt like it. Every day was 10 days in that house.
Yeah.
God.
Oh my God. Well, I enjoyed this challenge because, again, it just reminded us, you know, about Robert and some of the things that he likes and enjoys and things like that. And it's also just a reminder, you know, for us single folks out there, is that you know, when you're getting to know somebody, you should, you know, be attentive and, like, listen. Because when you don't, then you just realize there are things that you've been told and you just forgot.
What'd you say?
Don't throw Eric no shade.
I didn't realize that I had the same
How
childhood.
dare you, Ashley? You what?
I didn't know that I had the same childhood crush, though, as Robert.
Everybody named Mama had a crush on JTT. I had a crush on everybody. I had a crush on JTT. I was never really for Jason Priestley. I was more of a Luke Perry.
I like Luke Perry.
I was both. I was down with the 90210 crowd.
Yeah. Oh, David, Brian Austin Green.
I thought you was about to say David Hasselhoff.
I mean, that's a good one.
Baywatch, David Hasselhoff.
Yes.
Yeah, but
not today.
But cheeseburger eating David Hasselhoff. No, thank you. No, thank you. But although he would be my eating friend, we go have a cheeseburger together.
Yes, Wendy's at Junior Breaker Cheeseburger.
You know me so well, Latavia. All right, so at the end of this, Justin gets the solo date, and then he gets to assign the group dates to everyone else, which I'm glad that everyone still gets a chance to go on a date.
I do too.
So that was great. So the dates were based on things that Robert likes, and so Justin is going on an art date with Robert, and then the group dates are martial arts and dance.
Why are you guys laughing? You don't think he's into art?
It was. If you guys have seen Rugrats, Angelica had a doll named Cynthia, and
oh my God, that's
that
exactly
drawing looked like. You guys said Cruella de Vil, but I'm like, that is Cynthia.
She
like
did
the
look
doll.
like Cynthia.
It was an interpretation of what he saw.
Well,
Justin
Justin's like
as.
he's so handsome and like personable, so like I got the message behind it, but that was.
Well, let me tell you what you would have got from me. You would have got a stick figure.
Yeah.
With some hands. That's it.
I drew some of Tony. That's all I got.
That's all your butt sagging.
I'm trying to figure out what part of me is that.
Your butt.
It was the beginning of something, but I couldn't finish.
It's a kneecap.
Dillon got it though. Cruella de Vil, that was perfect.
Yeah, it was good.
And there was another animation film where that older actress that just passed, and she looked exactly that way too. I'm thinking Cruella de Vil and that other woman nailed
Divine?
Yzma?
Yes, how did you know that?
I'm just a Disney
Mind
crazy
meld.
person.
Isa, and who played her?
It was
Yzma.
Oh no, this is gonna haunt me because she was on
People,
Snatch Game.
Look it up.
Oh.
What's that?
Carol Channing ain't dead.
No, it was oh my gosh.
She tried to kill Carol Channing.
Her name's
I know, it's from Emperor's New Groove.
Yes!
her name
Thank
starts
you,
with an
Alexis.
E, and Chi Chi DeVane played her.
Look it up while we're doing
I'm not
this.
doing that
Oh,
right now.
on the
She
Snatch
was
Game.
This is
amazing.
killing
Chi
me.
DeVane
I
played
got
on
it,
the
I
Snatch
got it.
Game.
Hold up.
Joan Crawford?
Eartha Kitt.
Thank
Eartha Kitt.
Thank you, people. Now look at that
Moment of
movie.
silence.
Yeah.
Emperor's
I
New
have a
Groove.
picture right here.
Eartha
Thank you,
Kitt.
Alexis.
Put it up. That is.
Yeah.
It's this lady right here.
Yeah.
Am I right?
It has the feathers and everything.
Am I
That is
right?
hilarious.
She's my favorite.
Thank you, Alexis.
She's so good.
That is perfect.
That's what I was thinking when I saw the
That's
picture.
really good.
Either her or Cruella de Vil. Yeah, nailed it.
Girl.
I just looked at it as art.
I honestly thought that it was really expressive and
did
it was
too.
really sweet
I
and
was-
thoughtful
yes.
that he had, he said this is your,
The sun.
your brightness of being, the sun and you caring for people with the hands,
The meaning
I'm not a
behind
good drawer at all and I would have tried to do something like that and try to explain it the best way I could to dig myself out of that
You
hole.
were laughing pretty hard in that towel though.
It was
Okay, why when Justin came back from the date, you walked around in your towel?
well, I was in the shower when it happened. They were like, Dillon, Justin's
look-
here.
but
And I
you look- you look-
wrapped myself in a towel, ran
you
out.
look dry as a bone. You wasn't in no shower. You look dry.
I was in the shower, I had to moisturize myself and put on my lip cream and
Listen,
face
ain't
creams
enough
and
baby
stuff.
oil that Johnson can make in order to make sure that you are all oiled up.
It looked like you had something underneath, but it would have been great if the towel
I had something underneath.
fell.
What you talking about?
underneath the towel.
Oh, I
in the
didn't have
shower.
anything on. It was very.
you mean that he has something on?
That's what I was thinking. I was like, what are we talking
I was about to say.
It looked like he had some
AfterBuzz
shorts or
TV XXX. girl.
Right.
That's what.
Exactly.
Get those ratings up. That's all I had to say.
Okay. Girl, okay.
Almost came in here in a towel.
No, thank you.
Okay,
Don't do that to
Honey,
us.
you look so good tonight. Oh.
Dead.
Duh.
Can I pause for a moment
Yes.
to say that
It's hot.
Robert did look cute in his little glasses and his little bomber
Yes.
jacket and stuff. You looked very handsome, Robert.
Totally agree.
You know,
Give it to him.
I'm just trying to make sure he don't block me from Twitter.
Girl.
And I
the
like
damage is
the
done for
art
us.
too.
He's being an exclusive club.
Because he done got y'all together. I'm still
Y'all.
friends with you, Robert. I am.
Robbie
blocked
is off the
Robbie now,
list. Robbie's off the list today. Yes, Robbie is now blocked.
Yeah, he blocked mostly everybody except me and the first three people.
Justin.
Wow.
And Justin.
Well,
basically.
I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
get my church members on that. We gonna say a prayer for y'all. I'll keep y'all informed of what he tweeted
I don't know.
about.
I don't know if Brandon and Eric are blocked because they haven't said anything. But I mean, it seems like he's been blocking everybody. I'm like,
Well,
why? What's going on?
Yeah, why would he block
I
Robbie?
don't know.
I'm still good because I do a check daily just to make sure
I checked today.
that we are still in good graces.
Exactly.
I don't tweet him, but
That's
I just
right.
make sure that I can see what he tweeted.
Oh,
Just saying.
And like it.
Yes. All right. So I thought Justin and Robert had a great date. Even though Justin knows nothing about art, you not the only one, Justin. Because I look at pictures, I'm like,
His sketch of Robert looked like he was describing a criminal to a sketch artist.
well. Justin did throw a shade.
No, that wasn't being shady.
They were-
Justin knows I love him.
well,
Mine would have been, like you said, mine
it was
would
a
have been
great
stick figure,
drawing.
too.
I thought so too.
I thought it captured, like, I felt like
I thought it
his
was gonna
hair
be
was
bad.
blowing in
Yeah.
the wind. He had his little glasses on. Looked very handsome.
Well, it's just funny that Robert is like the artist, and they're like, okay, get ready. And like you said, I was almost anticipating a stick figure from Justin. He's like, boom, like an actual portrait.
I was like,
and Robert's like,
blown
I was
away.
this
And I applaud Justin because he really put effort in drawing
He
that
did.
picture. Because I would have been like Tony and draw a stick figure and
2
just like
seconds.
hair and glasses.
Justin was like getting the shade in.
Yes, he was doing
Yeah.
good. I applaud him for that.
But see, I would have did an added bonus because my specialty is the sun with the sunglasses and the tongue sticking out,
With the-
and the M's that look like birds, the clouds and stuff. I would have did a little rainbow.
Get me out of here.
All in charcoal.
I'm just saying, I would have hooked it up for you, Robert.
They would have hung it up
Yes.
if it was yours.
All right, so let's get to these other dates. So we had the dancing date. Jesus on the main line for that one.
Dance
with
Moms
Chad
meets
and
Dancing with the Stars on Prince Charming.
I mean,
right. Now,
Dance with the Stars. You can call me.
now
Available.
I
My
love.
publicist Nick is here.
I love the part when Dillon, you dropped your resume and was like, I've been dancing for 20 years. I know all ballroom dances. You can throw any dance at me and I can get it.
I was honestly very, very, very excited because I really haven't had a date since I've been in the house, and we had been there
Yeah.
for 87 days. Well, 89 days.
29 days, 90 bodies.
As Robbie would say, yeah.
Yeah.
But I haven't had a date that was in my element that I felt confident about, and I needed that time. And when they said dancing, I was like, oh, time to go. Let's do it. I would have liked to do either one of them, though. Like,
Did you know how to salsa before?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because that is the sexiest dance.
Yeah, and like I said on TV, you need a connection, you need intimacy, you need
bodies touching.
You need that.
Did you try to hide your like talent, or was that something that people knew that you could dance?
Like Brandon and I would dance every day, and everybody was like, Dillon, why are you dancing? Like you're good, and I would try to be bashful and say, no, not really, but I've been dancing for 20 years, But
you fell right into the cha-cha, like you was all in.
I was, but me being the aggressive person that I am, like I was like ready, and I should have, I think I should have just been like, okay. But also, it made Robert seem a little more vulnerable, and I haven't seen that in Robert at all. And when he allowed himself to let go, I was like, oh, okay, wow. And he started to, zone into me and see, what was going on. And
did you get lost in his eyes too?
Robert has beautiful eyes.
He does.
Beautiful eyes.
He does.
And I honestly felt bad for Chad, because I was there also. I sat on the side waiting for Chad to do his dance, and the thing is like I was rooting Chad on. When he was up there, I was like, go Chad, go, you can do this, blah, blah, blah. And when I was sitting down, it was like, when Chad was sitting down, it wasn't, and I understand you didn't want to be on a date with, 2 other people and you being the third wheel. I was the third wheel also. Yeah. Brandon was the third wheel on his date. Eric was the third wheel on his date, and no one really complained about it. We're in this process together, and we're gonna have to go, through it together.
Yeah.
It's not my fault that I haven't had a one-on-one date, and and I'm probably gonna go ahead of you, but I needed to pull him away and talk about things that I haven't gotten to talk to him about.
Yeah. But you have every right to do that, because everyone got pulled away during their dates, and like you were saying on the show, this is the situation that you're in, where you have the Bachelor, essentially dating 5 other people, and at least it's done, in your face. Unlike in real life, it could be done behind your back, and you don't know.
Exactly. And that's one thing that I did not do in the house. All the guys can tell you. One thing that I did not do was talk behind anyone's back. If I had something to say behind their back, I said it in their face.
Now this is true. I do know Dillon to do that.
Paul and I had conversations, and I would tell Paul, you need to step it up a notch. I told Brodney the same thing. The first day before Brodney left, I told him, you need to step it up. You need to do what you got to do, girl, because you're going to be going home because you seem boring right now because you're not talking to Robert. And I would push Brodney to do that, and Brodney was like, thank you for pushing me. And I did, all the guys, we were there. You don't really see it, but we were pushing each other to be the best for each other. And then there were times where somebody would hear something or hearsay, and it would be like, okay, attack whoever this person is. And it's like, girl, go to the source. If I heard something about Dillon in the house, the reason you didn't see me actually starting a confrontation with anybody is because when I heard someone would say something about Dillon, I would go to that person and say, what's going on? And they would say, oh, wait, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh, okay. If you have something, come and talk to me.
Yeah, and you're all under one roof. I mean, that's the only place you can be.
And all you see is Dillon attacking everyone, and that's not really the case, and that was never the case in the house. I was there, and I had my emotions just like everyone else had their emotions. I was never a snake or, a person to sabotage anybody. Even though we were on a show like this, I want to win. I'm a competitive person. Yes, I am. I'm an aggressive person. Yes, I am. And it seems like it escalated. I mean, it was like 1,000% more than what I actually am because it's on television.
Right. Yeah, and I'm glad that you owned it right now. Yeah. A little side tidbit, though, is when you made entrances on the show, didn't the music change?
Oh,
we all see it. We are right?
Yeah.
It's kind of soft when the other suitors come in, and when you come in, it's like Jaws.
Yeah, and and it's crazy. Like I didn't notice that, and I started watching the show with a friend of mine. Hey, Tayo, and she would be like, Dillon, did you notice every time your face would show up on the screen, the music would go, it would be like all the other guys is like Celine Dion playing in the black background, and then me, Marilyn Manson's like, yeah. You're like, oh my God, what's going on? And that affects a person's, mood. Was when
the viewer.
When the music changes from Celine Dion, who is graceful, and then Dillon comes on the screen, it's like Marilyn Manson. You like, oh. It kind of like brings you down a little bit.
Well, speaking of Marilyn Manson, we had that moment during the dance date with Chad getting very upset when you pulled Robert aside, and he just was not comfortable, and he walked in on y'all and he said, "I'm gonna go," and y'all looked up like, "Where you going?" And then Robert went, after him and tried to comfort him and gave him a kiss. I've mentioned that for a reason. And then you guys, went back to the house, and apparently when you guys got back to the house, Chad tried to come in.
Well,
and
before that, I have to say this. This is the second time that Robert has chased Chad.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, and I don't have a problem with Chad today. Then I did because we had a conversation for no reason, and I had no problem with Chad. And Chad could tell you, in the beginning, we had no problem with each other, and it just came out of nowhere. But I had a problem with the fact that Robert was chasing someone that wanted to run out of his life. I'm never going to chase any guy that's running out of my life, for one. If you want to leave, you leave.
Yeah.
And I had a problem with that, and all the other guys had a problem. And it's like, we're in this competition show, a dating show, about trying to find love and actually find out who we are as people, because I did, actually learn a lot about myself as well in this house. Why am I going to chase someone else?
Mm-hmm.
Why am I going to chase this person that's running from me?
Yeah.
And the other guys were saying the same thing. We didn't like the fact that it was happening, but something had to be done. And if they weren't going to say anything, I was going to say it.
Yeah.
And that was my time when he came down, and it was it was actually a calm conversation at first, and all of a sudden you're like, girl.
Yeah.
Like, where did that
And then
go?
it ended with you saying, "Bye, Mr. Fake." Bye. Bye, Felicia. Bye, fake Felicia.
Can we just take a couple steps back? Because after you guys had your little one-on-one dance moment, I was expecting a kiss. I don't know if you were expecting a kiss, but you got a high five, and
Girl.
Do you want to comment on that?
Listen, here's the thing.
Y'all gonna need another hour next week for me.
I mentioned this last week
With the week off, so.
that
Yeah, come on in.
you have yet to receive a kiss from Robert.
Mm-hmm.
Now everybody else in the house, even I got a kiss from Robert. You ain't got one yet.
Are you sure?
Well,
I did too, and then he blocked
kiss
me.
of death.
my kiss is in the form of like we're still Twitter friends. So
All right, bitch.
what's going on with that? How do you feel about that? And has anyone pointed that out to you?
The Twitter world is blowing up about how Robert has kissed everyone in the house. It's so crazy because last week we went on the winery date, or maybe 2 weeks ago, and Robert jived me, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I'm not really ready to kiss anyone yet." And then we go in the house, and he's like tonguing Paul, and I got so many messages about like, why is he not kissing you, and he's kissing everyone else in the house. But I mean, it is what it is. Everyone's connection is different from the other person, and I don't feel like I have to kiss someone every time I see them, or to feel like that connection is there for me. Now, for Robert, on the other hand, he can't really have that same judgment because he's kissed, 12 other guys. Well, 12, 11, 10, 9 guys in the house. But it's his thing. I don't know what's going on in his head, but I mean.
And maybe on that point, like, you went in for the kiss, so maybe, and he's kind of initiated the other one, so maybe he just likes to be the one to bring in the kiss.
But he's also said that he likes people to take initiative. So
That's true.
But then you look at him and Brandon, where they're now in this like initiative war. Like he mentioned it today
right,
too.
Exactly,
or you can.
somebody.
Well, and that's one thing that Robert says, every episode that he likes about me is that I'm the aggressive person. I'm always the first one to say hi to him, but I don't know. Like, I can't, that's something that I can't answer. Robert, if you want to tweet us and let us know why.
Or come on the show.
By us, he means those that you still can see on Twitter.
Before we move on to the martial arts date, can I just say that my favorite part of the Dillon versus Chad war was when Dillon went to talk to Brandon. Poor Brandon had just finished his meditation, was ready to go to bed, done read the Bible, and was just ready to, live to see the next day. And here come Dillon and his potato chips.
Well, that's funny because Brandon was the person that kept me. And also Robbie, it's crazy because you don't see this side of me on the television. Is that me, Robbie, and Brandon was the ones that were the more spiritual people in the house. We were the ones that would have meditation in the morning.
Did y'all have Bible study together?
Girl, when you do it?
Yeah, okay, y'all need.
And Robbie also taught me
something.
Robbie, he was so amazing because I never practiced anything other than my religion, and he taught me that Buddhism isn't a religion, and he welcomed me to teach me something new, and I was very open to that, and it was really nice and fun to be in someone else's element. Like, we learned so much about each other, and it was was so cool that Brandon would allow me to learn something from him and take advice from him, and he would take advice from me, and same with, you know, Robbie. Like, they were good people in the house to keep you grounded in the house.
Yes, Nam Yo Ho Renge Kyo.
Nam Yo Ho Renge Kyo.
You know, you got like
I
Enya
learned that
music
from
playing
Tina
in your
Turner.
head,
That's
and then we're
right.
here in Marilyn Manson.
What'd you say?
I said, so you got like Enya music playing in your head, but we're here in Marilyn Manson.
Yeah.
All you hear is flower, roses, and butterfly, and bees.
Can you hear a butterfly now? What does it sound like?
There were no bees.
Nailed it.
Your beehive.
I'm a Foley artist on the side.
So that little battle that tickled me. So let's move on to this martial arts date, which I would have never wanted to be a part of. So that was Brandon and Eric. What did y'all think about this date? This was an interesting one.
Well, we have tank tops. Everybody's wearing tank tops. That's a good
Some
start.
folks can wear tank tops. Not I said the cat. I need a full T-shirt.
And we're doing physical activity again. That's fantastic. They're getting to touch. I was a little worried when they took down Robert. I'm like, oh my God, did you break his back or something? But
They did it so softly, though.
Really?
You know, it's almost like they. Well, except for Brandon. Brandon was like.
Oh no!
yeah, there was
Yeah.
the one takedown. I'm like, oh my God, that's the start. What are you guys doing? But anyways, it was good to see them working out, you know, working with each other energetically.
Yeah.
But
I get it. Brandon watched his Buffy like I do, so I would have been all in. Like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm Buffy.
Jay, you fall in love with Brandon every week,
Every
more and
episode.
more.
You better calm down.
Bless your heart.
Do I have a wrist? Oh God, I'm gonna be blocked by him too.
Oh,
take it all back.
Brandon's not gonna block you. Brandon
won't block you.
loves the
He'll do-
attention, baby. Don't you, Brandon?
Well, I will
He'll
give
think
every
you-
And Brandon
attention.
Knievel, that's his handle quote.
Well, trust me, Jay knows all about it.
I'm sure.
I know nothing about this. I
Lies.
just
Let me stop because Eric and Brandon they
What?
told me to be quiet.
Oh, see, because you're talking too much. See?
you want a sugar daddy, right?
Who is Sugar Daddy?
On your Twitter account,
oh, it's just a joke.
is Brandon is Brandon old enough?
Wait a minute.
Hold up.
You are spilling tea? Let me take a sip.
Well,
what we
listen,
talking about,
I'm all
Prince
about
Charming.
promoting other people. And
Somebody done found Prince Charming in the form of a Sugar Daddy.
Don't talk about Robert, girl. He gonna block.
but a 16-year-old, how old is Brandon?
Like 29?
Brandon's 29, yeah.
Okay, 29. Does that work for you?
So I'm yes, that checks out.
Okay, good. Okay.
You know what? I cannot. We gonna pray about it later. Okay,
Brandon, they
so
love you, boy.
so this date was very interesting. Yes, it was like a lot of physical contact and everything like that. Robert had a chance to speak to Brandon and Eric, you know, separately. I thought it was nice that Eric gave Robert an unbloomed rose. I don't know where that rose came from, but
I don't either.
but it was
garden.
I
cute.
was thinking about that.
The garden.
Which garden? The garden at
The
the
garden
house.
about
The fake flowers. What about the fake flowers?
No, that was a real flower.
You knew.
Oh,
The vase.
those fake.
These flowers seem to never die.
That was cute. I like
Because
that.
they fade.
You know, you need every moment in that house to make any kind of joke or any kind of conversation. So if there was a conversation about fake flowers, we would talk about it. Like
Yeah.
it was, yeah.
Did you say Flavor Flav? Because that was his house. That was his house.
Oh, Lord, blessed assurance.
You guys.
So that was pretty much that date. And, you know, there were some other kisses shared between Robert and Brandon.
Yeah.
Okay, so then let's get to this.
everybody else.
Let's get to this black tie affair, and then that will allow us to spend more time with Dillon so that he can continue spilling tea. Because my cup is about to run out, and I'm gonna need you to pour some
I
more
need a
in
more
there.
stable chair. We're gonna talk about spilling tea.
No, just sit still. You just sat down somewhere.
Y'all
That's
make
what my
me
mama would
nervous
say.
over
Don't be
here.
nervous.
That chair was working when we first
Until-
started. Now you've just been wiggling all around.
So as soon as Robert comes in for the black tie affair, Dillon, you mentioned that he looked right at you, and that you were confident that you weren't going home.
Yeah.
I'm glad you had that confidence. I was a little
Well,
worried.
the thing is
I was
that
too.
I was
worried.
confident that I wasn't going home.
Keep your job, honey. Keep your job. Keep your job, honey. Keep your job.
But
Keep your job. Keep it cute.
you know, he called me, you know, right before Chad, and he actually didn't even get to call me.
He sure didn't. Okay, so real quick, Brandon stayed, Justin stayed, Eric stayed, and then it was between Dillon and Chad.
It wasn't
which is-
between me and Chad. It was
Well-
like one at a time.
Well, in the beginning, it was between you and Chad, which is ironic because these are the two that had the most drama in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but then when Robert called Dillon, And I braced myself. I said, "Oh Jesus, he going home. Bless his heart. He gave a good fight. He did. A for effort." But then Chad spoke up and was feeling himself and feeling some kind of way and was all in his feelings. How did y'all feel about Chad's speech before? Well, you know, during the black tie affair. How did y'all feel?
I almost felt like Chad may have stayed. I mean, you're sitting right next to me. We're watching the show. And I'm like, oh my God, you're leaving, right? And he didn't spill it. But I thought
Chad, he was going to.
Yeah, I really did. And so when Chad started going off, I'm like, oh my God, you're just eliminating yourself. And I was stunned because, like, I thought maybe you know what's in his mind, but I felt the first time he was packing his bags and the second time, I felt like it was kind of for reality TV, and he was creating moments that were really good.
We definitely thought he was gone the first
really?
time. Yeah.
Okay. So when he did it the third time, I'm like, oh my God, it's just another moment where we're getting some good stuff, but he's really not going to leave. So when he did, I was shocked.
I can understand where it comes from because I don't think I could put myself in a situation where you, like what you were explaining, like you're seeing other people on a date and you're seeing the date, like you're sitting there as they're dancing 20 feet from you, like that would drive my mind crazy. So I could see it. I don't know as far as calling him like you're a player because that's the show that you signed up for. It's kind of like you can't really say that. That's, you know what the situation is walking into it. But I don't know. I can see where he's coming from, but it would drive me kind of crazy too.
Yeah, I just go ahead. What were your thoughts, Jesse?
No, I was gonna say. I mean, I agree with that, but I didn't think you were going home because I think the moment you and Robert had tonight was the strongest moment you've had so far.
It was that dip.
But Jason had that same moment too, and you know,
he went home
and he was elated, and
chemistry.
you know.
No, but you could tell his moment was more. He was asking about
other people in the house.
Chad,
and you guys were you were having a bond.
Yeah.
Salsa bomb.
And if he's kept you so far without having a really vulnerable moment like that, then why would he send you now that you're having a great one?
Yeah,
exactly. Chad's whole incident at the dance floor.
And Tony?
For me, I thought that I kind of feel like Chad reminded me of Sam in the fact that I think they both got a little too in their head with this, and I think that they both really did want to get to know Robert and started developing feelings for Robert, but the idea of all of these other men, you know, vying for the attention and everything that, and, you know, dealing with the show and everything, just looks like it got to their heads, and that's why they both bolted. That's just how I feel. Now, Chad, you get the dramatic award Oscar of reality show exits, and the speediest packer I have ever known. I have never known anybody like that.
Well, Chad only came to the house with 4 shirts and 3 pair of pants and 2 shoes, so you just throw that in one.
For 87 days. Did y'all have a washing machine in the house?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
No, but it was funny because I actually helped Chad get dressed for the day right before, and he was just like.
So that shirt was your doing?
No. Well, he only had 2 shirts to choose from.
But out of the 2 shirts,
that was the best one. Yeah, ask him, Chad. You better tweet in, girl. No, I actually have. It's crazy because I would be the one. Justin and I actually would be the 2 that would go to everyone and help them get dressed for their date. And it's just so weird that every date is just like, oh, Dillon, you're the snake, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But you guys don't see America. You don't see or world now, since everyone else is watching now. You don't get to see that, you know, vulnerable side of me. You get to see that vulnerable side of everyone on the show, but
that's
you don't get to see
today.
That. You know,
that's
with Dillon.
Right.
You know, and it's weird.
I am putting in a vote for Finding Prince Charming After Dark, so that when them cameras go home, them hidden cameras come on in the house.
Those hidden
really
cameras.
See the teeth.
Those hidden cameras got so much.
Well, we heard about.
That's what I want to see.
I hope we get to news and gossip, but there were some hookups that are finally coming out. Like, I have been praying for this, and there's news today.
Won't God answer your prayers? Won't He do it? Somebody in this room done sat up. Keep your job, honey. Keep your job.
When he set up, I'm like, girl.
But it's out. It's news, and I did get a confirmation today from one of the persons that did the hookup. So I hope we get to that.
Yeah. All I'm gonna say is.
Well, I need my prayer cloth. So.
Allegedly.
Cody, I'm lighting a bunch of candles like a Catholic church.
She like candles, man.
Get the sage, honey. We need it all.
There's some air too, because I'm over here sweating.
Yes. So that was pretty much the show. Unfortunately, we saw Chad go home, and I don't know if that's. Well, I think that's good for his sake. Girl, go home, rest, get your mind back together, and you know there's somebody out there for you. It is. So that was the show. So let's get on to some news and gossip.
Yeah.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Okay, so First of all, congratulations to Finding Prince Charming, because there is going to be season 2 coming up. Yes. Now it has been reported that they are searching for a new bachelor, and season 2 is going to it's in full effect.
November 5th through the 16th, we are casting.
The cool thing about this season though is that season 2 is that the world gets to pick who they want as one of the suitors.
Can I nominate Grant?
It's so people get to submit online. You know, I think it's findingprincecharmingcasting.com. You get to submit your picture, and America gets to pick
the Bachelor does.
The Bachelor don't get to pick. America gets to pick one suitor that's going to go into the house.
From November 3rd, the finale day, until November 16th. Potential suitors can share a photo or video using whatever hashtag needs to be attached to
Finding Prince Charming.
That one.
I'm available for hosting.
That they deserve a spot on the show.
You trying to get a job. I'm trying to be one of the suiters. I'm going to go in the house.
I would watch Tony on that show.
There are 2 important elections between those dates, people.
2 important ones. Tony, make sure you vote Hillary first and then go.
No, let me tell you the one people most care about is this Finding Prince Charming one. Nobody care about that other one. Nobody care about the other one at all. Huh?
Can you do it? You said you were thinking about it when you saw the casting for the first one. I think you should do.
Will you wear a swimsuit, Tony? Will you wear a bikini?
No, not at all. Let me tell you, I would have the cover up for day. I'll be the one that comes out completely covered up with a big hat like this and greet the bachelor and be like, hello.
Why?
It's me.
Okay, so yes, find all that information. Yay! Congratulations to Logo for season 2 of Finding Prince Charming. Now, in some other news and gossip, which I feel like is more tea than anything, our fabulous friend, suitor, Robbie, did an interview with Vulture.
Yes.
And when I tell you, thine cup had runneth over, a friend of mine sent it to me. And I don't know where I was. I think I was in Target or something like that. But I read I couldn't stop. Like I was walking and reading at the same time, and I was just like,
it's a long one too.
Oh my God. Did y'all read it?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, go ahead, Freak Nasty. What you want to talk about?
Let's go right to it. Sam and Chad hooked up on day 1, people. Day 1. And
allegedly.
No, honey.
Allegedly.
I went to the source and I got confirmation.
Save your job, honey. You got to say allegedly. Even if you have a confirmation, you got to say allegedly.
I learned that from Wendy Williams, baby.
Wendy Williams. Allegedly, there was a hookup on day 1. I won't go into day 2 because that is even more hearsay. But definitely, Sam, thank you for chatting with me today and giving me the and giving me the right to tell the tea. Okay.
Sam
That was it.
Sam needed spilled your tea, boy.
It was 5 minutes of ecstasy, according to him. So, I won't go over any further than that. Keep that longer. That was good. I like the church music.
Maybe this for you is gonna be juicy.
Alexis.
Yes.
Alexis,
Yes.
honey, bring in that sage, honey, bring in that sage.
Yeah, no, I've already brought in a
napkin
and a preacher.
And a napkin, because I waste my water.
Gay sex is good.
Yes, it is, but tea is better.
Has a little taste to it.
It has a little tang to it.
For the article, for me, what I took from it was just the experience of like, we've seen and we've talked to some of the other suitors too, is that everybody's had a different experience going into this and coming out of it. So I've liked the honesty that people have said, like, well, I knew that he wasn't for me, or he wasn't like a match for me. So I appreciate that people are honest about their experience, and I know that some people were there for love, and some people just kind of realized, I might have been on the show and been like, he's not for me, so I think it would have been kind of something like that, where I appreciate that.
And I also want to point out that not one person has had anything, one person has had negative things to say about me, not everyone else.
And our suitors.
Everyone has positive things to say about Dillon, so I want America to notice these things, read these interviews, and see what people is, saying.
Our first suitor who called in, Nick, said that you check in with him,
and my thing is like, one of the guys, I'm not going to say his name, he's like, Dillon, you need to stop checking in on people, because you've been probably one of the nicest guys in the house and out of the house since we've left it. I've checked on everyone, called everyone, texted everyone. I'm like inviting them here, inviting them there, throwing parties here and there, and we've all gotten together, and I've been told that I need to stop. And I think it's a good. I mean, I think it's good also because, you know, you never know what people are saying, you know, to other people, and you know, and I trust this person enough to, you know, understand that, you know, maybe it is a good idea that I stop trying to be everybody's
No,
friend.
you don't have to stop trying. You
know?
be you. I like the fact that because you know, we've known each other for a while, and I see you out all the time, and you're always with somebody from the show, laughing and kikiing and having a great time. Like that's just you. That's just your personality. You can't help that.
You know, and it's crazy because I mean, even Chad and I, even though we had conflict in the house, Chad and I have, you know, we don't really have conflict. We talked, and you know, he's apologized to me about, you know, I've, you know, apologized to him about how I felt about things, and if I came off the wrong way to him, you know, but that's how TV is, and that's when you're locked in the house with people for 175 days. That's what happens.
People want to know. They keep asking, do you accept the apology from Sam? And I know you didn't.
Sam has never given me an apology.
Right, it was the on camera.
It was to a camera. Sam has never given me an apology.
So with the reunion coming up this week, I don't know if we're allowed to talk about that, but everybody's in LA this week.
We can't talk about the reunion.
We cannot talk about the reunion. Okay.
But I'm going to say this.
Are you looking for an apology?
It's up to Sam. You know, I don't like I said, I didn't come into this house or that house expecting any conflict with anyone. I didn't think that Sam and I had like that much of a conflict until that scene actually happened. Because if you were there in that scene when I was on the other side of the pool and they were in the hot tub, Sam's name came out of my mouth one time because Robert asked me, am I heated because of Sam? And I was basically trying to figure out why that kiss didn't work, trying to figure out what am I doing here, because I don't feel, you know, I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
You had your own stuff.
You know, and so, you know, when that happened, it was just like Eric and I were in the bedroom talking about a book. And Eric was like, I hear Sam, you know, being crazy and, you know, loud and there, what's going on? And Eric was like, should I block the door? I was like, no, because whatever's going to happen, it's going to happen, and I didn't want him to get hurt. I'd rather me get hurt than him burst the door open and Eric go flying across the room or something. So, yeah, I mean, I don't have any hard feelings from Sam. On the other hand, Sam has so, you know, much things he had to say about me on his Twitter. When you look on my Twitter, I never say anything negative about anyone. That's not who I am. And I'm not going to drag someone in the dirt just because of a TV show, and I'm not going to drag... Even you can be my biggest enemy, Michelle, and I will never...
You don't know Jesse like that. You talk about him like that.
That's all that you, Michelle. No, but that's not who I am, and I'm not going to do that, you know, to Sam. I think that he let the show get the best of him, and I wish he would have taken a different route to things, because I did try to talk to Sam a couple times, and it didn't go that way. Did I bring up the subject to, you know, in front of the guys because we had, you know, we were all talking about something that happened to us? Yes, I did, and that conversation came up because that was so true to me, because I was bullied, you know, and I was, you know, in an abusive relationship before, and I just saw a person not taking up for Robbie, and I had to be that person to take up for Robbie, and that's the only reason why, you know, Sam and I had that conflict. And I don't like that it has gotten this far and has gotten this crazy on, you know, on his side, and I wish that it wouldn't be this way, because I thought he was a fun guy and he was loud, and I love the fact that he was loud. Chad and Sam were always in that damn hot tub. That's why they have to drain it. They drained the hot tub because they were always in the hot tub. But
yeah, tell us more.
But it's just like, you know, I just wish that it wasn't. I wish that it never gotten to that point, because I would have rather see him actually be there to see how long he would have lasted.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to know.
Are you talking about like egg drop soup in the jacuzzi? Like the Norwegian cruises? Allegedly. No.
I don't know that reference.
It's gross. It's gross.
This is why Chris is known as Old Freak Nasty on the show.
I'm just playing my role, okay?
Playing his role.
Doing my job.
Right.
So, but before we have to wrap up, because we only have a few minutes left, when you entered this house, up until this point that we've seen now, what were your expectations going in, and did they change up until this point?
Well, maybe it was a crazy idea, or maybe it's not, or it wasn't. But I basically told myself, like, don't make friends. Don't make friends in the house, because if you're trying to find love and find friends, babe, it's going to either be one or the other. Either you're going to find a guy, and the guy that you're making friends with is going to be pissed because he's going after the same guy, or either you're going to make friends, you're going to have much of a fun connection with the friend because we were always together, and you wouldn't be focusing on Robert. So I continuously told the guys that this is, you only saw it on this episode, but every day we would talk to everybody's like, oh, we're best friends. No, I'm not friends with anyone here. Am I cordial with everyone? Yes. I'm not here to make friends, and if you guys want to make friends, we can make friends after the house, and I show people I don't mind making friends after the house. But while I'm here, I'm not here to make friends.
It's not Prince Charming. It's best friends race.
Exactly. And if it calls for me that I feel like you're a threat in the house and you need to go, it's time for you to go.
Yeah.
And it wasn't about me sabotaging anyone or being a snake or talking behind anyone's back. I would see a snake as me and Tony being good friends, and and he's trying to go with Jay, and then I'm like, girl, Jay, don't talk to her.
Guys,
no, that's
knock it
a snake. That's a snake to me, and I didn't feel like I was a snake because none of those guys were my friends in the house, and now I've made friends with these guys. And
you were just looking out for Robert.
I was looking out for me.
Yeah.
As Michelle would.
I honestly, because I didn't know anyone there, so why would I look out for anyone else?
Yeah.
Did I make connections with these guys, as time went on? Yes. Did I make a connection with Robert? Yes. Did I want to make a connection with Sam? Yes. Did it happen? No. Will it happen? I don't know.
Yeah.
It depends on how, everybody says that I'm the immature one on the show, but we'll see how Sam's maturity level is when we come face to face with one another. Is he going to be an adult and say, Dillon, I apologize for this, instead of, bashing me on Twitter? Or is he going to say, Dillon, I apologize for what I did?
And we can work this all out right here in the studio. You're all welcome.
No, we're going to work this out on the reunion.
Nick will be here.
After the reunion, the after show is right here, baby.
He trying to get the reunion part 2
right up in here.
Hosted by us.
Yes, but I enjoyed everything, and I enjoyed all the guys, and I enjoyed my experience. I don't know if I would do it again. We'll see.
Would you be a bachelor?
I don't know. I think for myself, I still need some time to grow. I was the youngest person in the house. I came in the house 25. My birthday was in the house, and the guys hated me saying that because we celebrated my birthday like 3 days. But I was the youngest guy in the house, and I felt like for me, I was never in that situation. Robbie and Chad had been in those situations before, so they knew kind of sort of what was going to happen, and I didn't. So I was trying to protect myself, and other people saw that as me going after them, which I didn't know what was going on. So that was me.
Well, Dillon, thank you so much for joining us
Thank you.
this evening.
Thank you.
And
Thank you guys for having me.
Just to let you know, a lot of our fans, throughout the past weeks have been Team Dillon. So, Team Dillon. We'll see what happens in the coming weeks.
Beyonce.
Mr. Fake.
All right. Bye, Mr. Fake.
Before we head out, let's let everyone know where they can find you via social media. Let's start with old Freak Nasty himself.
That's me. I'm Chris Valentine. Tweet me something I can retweet at AKA Golden Boy, and check out all my celebrity interviews at Chris Valentine Show on YouTube.
Hey guys, it's Jay Ellis. I'm on Instagram at don't_be_jealous and still_jealous on Twitter, where I might be posting Tony's portrait. Because it came out amazing.
I got on headphones, right?
Yes, the main ears itch.
Okay, I just want to clarify.
Hey everyone,
Go
Jesse
ahead.
D'Angelo. You can find me across all social media platforms at Jesse J. D'Angelo.
And Dillon, where can they find you?
You can find me across all social media platforms because it's easier at Dillon A. Powell, and it's spelled DILLON APOWELL. And also at DillonAPowell.com, you can buy my clothes.
Love it.
Oh,
No, that's right.
you're looking
Dillon.
good
Finally,
tonight.
that collection
Thank
coming
you.
out.
Make a shirt.
Oh,
Says,
it's-
bye, Mr. Fake.
Or I'm calling the cops.
Boom. Yes. Yes. And of course, you guys can find me on all social media platforms at Lounger with Tony or my website, loungerwithtony.com. Next week, we are taking a break, but don't fret. In 2 weeks, we'll be back to give you a full recap of Finding Prince Charming. Stay tuned. Bye, y'all.
Yes, God.
Producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff. We would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.